time to dive back into the kingdom of Xia, the world of Dungeons and Asians. But first,
it's been too long.
a message from our sponsor, Roll20. This stream and episode is brought to you by Roll20, your virtual tabletop for playing games online. Whether you need maps, character sheets, video and voice chat, or dynamic lighting, Roll20 has you covered. All right. I'm getting good at this.
You are.
Well, you've got a great radio voice, right?
I mean,
It's true.
so do you. So do you.
That's also true.
Well, thank you. I was on the radio briefly.
Steve, you've got great hair. And Agatha, you're just wonderful.
I also have great hair.
You have great hair too.
I don't know what's going on with your shirt, but I love it. Agatha, that's what you got going on.
This great shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so glad we started doing video stuff because now you can, see.
And the only reason we did video is because of Jade,
Oh yeah,
who is also going to be joining Dungeons and Asians moving forward.
Yeah, I'm so hype.
oh my god, yeah. What's that sound you make? The hype sound you make?
Beep, 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 beep. That one.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I'm not. Steve is like, what the fuck was that?
I don't
That's
have
your
to app
air horn.
anymore.
Sorry, I'm not Agatha. Agatha's the one who does that.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
The chat is like, I love Daniel's gray shirt. It's a death save shirt. You just can't see it. I guess, yeah, it's fine. But anyways, before we get started, we did a note to our sponsor. We will do a mid-roll later, but it's very important to go over our safety tools. We have our X card, which is just a big X that we do. We also have multiple lines of chat communication. We have Roll20 open with a map that I drew at 3 a.m. I think it's beautiful. There's shading.
It is beautiful, actually.
There's shading and color gradients. We have our Zoom chat, we have our Facebook, we have our Discord, and of course we have our cameras. We also are going to be using the O card, which Agatha has changed it to a heart, so it is our heart. We are also using lines and veils. So far, and this is a good point because we haven't done this in a while, to make sure our lines and veils are okay. Our lines right now are sexual assault and sexual coercion, violence against children, slavery, and racism. We removed one before. We had one about injury, but we removed it. We have two veils, intense gore, and sex. Would anybody like to make any amendments to those? You can also... Oh, Agatha?
Yes, I would like to add teeth injuries.
To a veil or a line?
I think to a veil.
Okay, so we'll do dental damage.
Dental. Yeah.
Okay, so that is a new veil, and it is on this episode's notes. So moving forward, when we look through our digital notebook, moving forward, we'll be able to see our updated lines and veils, which change every single time. We'll also put those in Roll20, so we can all see that. Okay, so we've got our safety tools, we've got a message from our sponsor, and now it's just time to talk about what happened last time. I'm excited, because this is our hot spring episode. Last time, our heroes, Dong Feng, the Sky Soldier, will lead the bandit, Ning, the Yoxia, ventured into the Shadewood, a forest marking the most southern reaches of Xia's border, to retrieve the golden chrysanthemum, one of the 4 noble flowers from the monstrous Shadow Marquis. And I know, Steve, that was your first time doing combat in Quest, because you're so used to like the tactical like miniatures and the Roll20 overlay for D&D. But Quest has enabled us to do some pretty dynamic combat, which I'm pretty excited about. Same with our Gen Con show. That was a lot of fun. In the vicious battle, your characters slayed the noble creature. Its body kind of fell apart and almost like it decomposed very rapidly, revealing a mummified corpse inside of it. Clutching this golden flower, Dong Feng went in and grabbed it. And
my first mistake.
Your first mistake. I don't think it was a mistake because you received the gift of the vermilion bird.
Boo.
Boo. How can you say that now that we have some amazing fan art of Dong Feng wielding fire?
No, you're right. You're right. I take it back.
I take it back. Boo. And then I put a note. I said vermilion bird, not a phoenix, cough Mulan. I won't go into the whole Mulan thing after this.
Ooh, okay.
But
I
it's
love
the
that.
gift of the vermilion bird. It is not a phoenix. Not a phoenix. So, a lot has happened since then. We've actually had a whole other prequel stream just for Waleed. So if you haven't listened to that, you're going to have to go to youtube.com/AZNSRepresent. That one is not on our podcast feed. And listen up to the 2 3-hour episodes there. It will catch you up on some of the things that we might talk about here. But I want to start with our 3 heroes exiting the Shadewood. Dong Feng, you look a little bit different. You have the mark, the gift of the vermilion bird now. You have consumed the flower's essence and you have made it your own.
I feel like the flower consumed me. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, you kind of like, well, I mean, you're still here and the flower isn't.
Okay, fair.
I don't know. It's up to you, though. If you think that you have become the golden chrysanthemum, what do you think?
I think, okay, you know what? Now that you said that, that makes sense. It's like when you level up a Clefairy with like a moonstone.
Yep,
Yes.
I'm with you.
So I guess that's what happened.
So in this case, the 4 nobles are different flowers, and you're all Eevees. And you could it depends on what you use.
Yo!
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You're
No, I don't want to be
Eevee,
Flareon.
you're Shrimpion. You're Shrimpion.
Shrimpion.
And Waleed is Beardion because you've got a beard.
Beardy.
I just want to say I am here for the Dungeons and Dragons and Pokemon crossover. That's
Yeah,
I gave my Eevee a beard stone and like
a
now
beard
it's
stone,
great.
and now it's Beardion.
Stone!
Just a hairy rock.
God. All right, next Pokemon game.
Next Pokemon RPG we do. It's just like, I choose you, Beardion. Well, I'm gonna counter
Game
Beardion.
Freak, call us.
Can you believe next episode is sponsored by Game Freak?
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think wait, so I think there would be some kind of a, I mean, maybe I'm red now because I'm
Well, during our session 0, we talked about how you might have like red markings running down the arm that you actually grabbed the flower with, and like
yeah,
a
true.
symbol on the palm of your exoskeletal hand.
Yeah, true.
Ooh, do you have like the chrysanthemum?
Yeah.
Like maybe like the flower? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think, and normally it's like, it looks like it's just been burned on, but then when I cast my power, then it like glows or something.
You make that sound every single time.
Yeah, I have
Does
to.
everything
It's
in
like
your
when you play
arm glow?
tennis.
Does like all the lines on your arm also glow? So is it like a charging
Yeah.
up line?
Or does it look like you have gold veins running through your exoskeleton, and when you use your ability, they turn like red?
I think it looks like burn marks. Through the
It looks like burn marks,
Yeah, like it's
Oh.
been seared into my exoskeleton.
but it's still like glowing,
Nah,
or
it's
is it,
not
or it
glowing.
just looks burned, like it's black,
Yeah. But a little bit crispy.
Like
a little bit
brand.
crispy, like a brand. Oh, like a
Yeah.
jellyfish tentacles. You know, have you ever seen somebody who it looks like
Yeah.
jellyfish tentacles, but they're all
Yeah,
black,
yeah.
and then when you
Yeah,
use your
yeah.
ability, it like fire. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool. So remember, folks, we are actually using Quest. So once per session, Dong Feng can use the Gift of the Vermilion Bird, which you can ignite your weapon or fist into magical red flames, which increases your damage by 2. That is a lot of damage, actually, in Quest. Most common enemies only have 4 HP, and your base weapons do 2 damage. So if you're, fighting somebody, you're actually going to be like one-shotting people as long as you're hitting.
Sweet.
It's
All
pretty
right.
epic. So as you exit the Shadewood, all of your soldiers, they seem to have made camp further away from the Shadewood than you originally had asked, Ning. Shuang is still with them. Shuang is like got her book open and is taking notes. And you can actually tell that they're actually camping on the other side of the road. They're pretty far away. And they don't notice you. They've set up a camp. They're actually cooking a rabbit. Shuang is just like writing in her book, and all the soldiers are just kind of having a good time. Almost like they're like treating this like a vacation.
I think.
As we're... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Sorry, I was just going to say just a little vignette here. As we're exiting, Waleed is basically running all around Dong Feng repeatedly like an excited child, being like, okay, what does that do? What does that do? And behind the excitement, though, you pick up that Waleed's a little jealous. He kind of wishes he got the power. The cool arm and the, like, you fire off a couple of times.
Yeah. And I think Dong Feng is like eating it up. They're like, yeah, check this out.
Check out my arm. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this gold.
Yeah.
It almost looks like there's
Like
it's a
doing
gold
that.
it's a gold brand, but it looks like it's inlaid with gold on your hand.
Yeah.
So it's like permanently gold. I love that, Ammar. I love that. Well, Waleed's kind of jealous, but also like Dong Feng's super tall as well. It's like, whoa.
Exactly. It's like a child. You know,
Yep.
like,
That's
What's
what
going
I
on?
was thinking of, yeah.
Kicking up dust everywhere. And through that dust, we see, well, Ning. Ning, what are you doing? How are you reacting to this?
I think Dong Feng's not in pain visibly. I don't think, right?
No, Dong Feng seems pretty
Everyone's chill. Everyone's good.
pretty
about this?
chill. Despite the fact that Waleed is literally running circles around Dong Feng.
Gotcha. So I think Ning is. I think there's like maybe a camera pan that kind of shows Ning looking back and like scoffing, like, "Pfft." But kind of as she turns away, she actually thinks it's kind of funny, and she maybe cracks a smile but doesn't show it to the others.
Aww.
Oh,
Aw.
oh, and look at them. They're so cute.
But once she breaks kind of the tree line and sees her soldiers basically like lollygagging, I think she's gonna go kind of red in the face, kind of like this was not okay and whatnot. And I think she's just going to kind of tighten a belt and just begin storming towards the soldiers.
Ooh. And as you tighten your belt, as you walk towards the soldiers, they can hear you, but it's a little too late. You can see that they look up, they go, oh, and they try to like gather up all the things. Some of them have game boards out. Some of them are playing, like they're like full on relaxation mode. Yeah. One of them is putting away like a little like picture that he has. They kind of look, Commander Ning.
And I think she just, I think she just kind of starts tearing into him, kind of the way she's seen other officers kind of tear into their soldiers. And she is going to go through an intense line of questioning. What is that? Who issued that? Where did this come from? Who gave the order to put these in place?
Well, that commander is a rabbit, and it was issued by nature. And Schwag said it was okay to get food. They kind of gave it. It's kind of our sarcastic answer because they're like, it was issued by nature.
Oh, good. I suppose then from now on we take our commands from Commander Shuang. Is that what's happening now?
And one of the soldiers actually looks at Shuang, and Shuang kind of goes, "They were hungry."
We have our rations. We didn't know what was in this forest. That rabbit could have been anything. You put our entire battalion at risk for what? Because people were peckish? I think you need to understand who's in charge here and who is along for the ride.
And as you're saying this, all of the soldiers, they're looking to your left. They aren't even looking at you. And Shuang is like right next to Dong Feng and is just inspecting your arm and your hand. Like she completely ignored Ning. It was like, whoa, what happened to you? What is this? And looking at your hand. Waleed, what happened to Dong Feng? Without even asking Dong Feng. And all the soldiers are looking.
Show them.
I look at my boss like, I'm not trying to.
To try to cause shit.
Ning takes a stance, just kind of plants her feet, puts her hands behind her back, and she just nods to Dong Feng as if measuring what the next reaction is going to be.
Okay, I catch that look. I don't know what that means.
Waleed is running around them, just going, show them, show them, show them, show them. Blow that up, blow that up. Or like a stump or something like that.
I'm famished. Can I get some of that rations?
They're all like, so wait, is Dong Feng injured? Are Dong Feng's injuries, do they make them very hungry? Like, one of them actually goes back and like rips off a piece of the rabbit, like the leg, and brings it over to Dong Feng.
I mean, I asked for it, so I feel like I have to take it now. I take it while looking at my boss.
And Shuang kind of looks and says, "Oh, Commander Ning, sorry, I didn't see you there." Well, the soldiers were
Just, no. Stop. You know what? Y'all can do whatever you want. And she just kind of like takes a deep breath and begins picking up pieces of like a game board that maybe fell over. And just begins like busying herself.
the soldiers have clearly feel very, very bad. Ammar?
While everybody is distracted, and I guess like Dong Feng is like watching this happening or whatever, you see a hand, like the camera is on them, and you see a hand just come over the top, or I guess more the side, and just swipes that rabbit leg.
Out of Dong Feng's hand.
Yeah,
You
he's
pull
a
it
bandit,
out,
he knows how-
you start eating it. This rabbit
Yeah.
is
Yeah, I
very...
look at my empty hand, and I look back. I will lead.
There's
really?
little bits of food in Waleed's beard. Waleed's already consumed, and Waleed maybe like you spit the bone out
Bone?
very subtly.
Yeah, I elbow you, Waleed, like, come on, and then we go. I'm going like how
And-
pick
and
things up.
Shuang
I
kind of
bend all
turns-
the way down to pick up all the game
all
pieces.
the game pieces. Shuang kind of like sees that Ning is very upset and is like, perhaps everyone should be helping out Commander Ning. Commander, may I speak to you privately?
Of course.
Pulls you aside and kind of says,
Sorry,
Yeah.
can I just say that as you start to sort of step away from the camp, Waleed follows along until I assume Ning gives him a glare, and he goes, "Oh, all right."
unless you want to try to sneak, but
At this
it's
time, I think
prevent.
if Waleed follows, Ning just kind of shrugs.
Oh, okay, sure.
she kind of turns. She says, "I am." When you're kind of out of earshot of the soldiers, and Dong Feng, who's just I don't know what's Dong Feng doing, he's cleaning up, right?
I am cleaning up.
Yeah. Shuang kind of turns and says, perhaps we should, help clean up and maybe pack everything up. We'll need to go soon. And kind of turns and says, I am so sorry, Commander Ning. Some of them were just so hungry and tired, and we weren't sure if you were coming back.
Remind me, they're the Sovereign Banner or the Emerald
Emerald
Soldiers?
Standard.
They're
Yeah.
Emerald Standard. So Ning says, these are soldiers of the Emerald Standard. They can go hungry for a day. This is their job. Their job is to listen to commands, because when they don't, people get hurt or they die. And I don't think you yet appreciate the kind of danger we're in. This is not a fun field trip for you. You're brought on as a scholar and an expert, and your expertise is here to make sure people don't die on the road so they can go back to their families.
She feels real shitty about this. And she says, okay, I'm sorry, Commander. I'll do better next time. If we are to talk business, then were you able to locate the flower that Pan Yan mentioned?
Yes. Let's go to my tents Waleed, if you can get Dong Feng, we'll meet you there.
Waleed, as soon as you turned to him, actually like hid behind a tree for a second.
It's like,
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah. I was looking for a place to go to the washroom. Yeah, I'll take care of that. I wasn't listening earlier. I'm just gonna go to that now.
Yep. Great.
so meet up with everyone in the tent, and the tent is the only thing now that hasn't been packed up. The horses, the wagons are all packed up and ready to go. And we're in your tent, and really all that's left is just the tent. They've packed up everything else that's inside the tent as well, so just an empty tent. And Dong Feng, you're kind of standing at the center of the tent, and Shuang is saying, "So, what happened? What are these wounds on Dong Feng? Did you get the flower? Where's the flower?"
Yeah, funny story that. And I look at Ning to see if she wants me to tell the story, if she wants to tell the story.
It's a very like solemn nod of like, go for it.
Yeah, so we killed the Shadow Marquis, and they dropped a flower, which is the golden chrysanthemum. Mm-hmm. I was trying to pick it up. It did something else, kind of disappeared into my hand.
She grabs your hand and like looks really closely at it. And she goes, "Oh, wait." Still holding your hand as she as if she thinks it might leave. She's rummaging through her bag and she pulls out this big sort of headpiece, sticks it on her head, and it's got all sorts of like glass lenses. It's a monocular, and she like looks really closely at your hand. She says, "That is your flesh."
Yeah, I mean, technically it's also part of my exoskeleton, but, you know.
Yes, of course. She says, but this is a part of you, and these burns, do they hurt? And she like kind of runs her hands over them, as if like tracing them.
No.
She says,
You're touching the shell.
She says, yes, but is the flower now a part of you?
Guess so.
Astounding. She goes up to you, Waleed. She walks right towards you, and I guess your face kind of like, oh. And she turns around, puts her book on your back, and begins writing using your back as like a sort of like a support. And she begins writing down notes about how Dong Feng has absorbed the golden chrysanthemum. She says, and well, I have so many questions, but perhaps we could talk when we're on the road. Commander Ning, where are we to go next? And she holds out her book, and she has a map of Xia. And so this is a map that I've put on Roll20 for all of us with some of our notes. So you'll notice that there are a couple things labeled on the map. We have Desh, which is Waleed's homeland. We have Song, which is a place where Waleed actually spent a good part of his childhood. We have Nawa, which we haven't visited yet, but has been mentioned in previous recordings that never made it out. Nawa is the land of the python. And then, of course, we have Shuvu, the state of birds, and the Shimmering Badlands. I've actually marked all of the locations on the map that you've visited or we've mentioned in a Dungeons and Asians recording. So we have like Jingde, Josha's Spear, Chang'an, the Shadewood, and Heaven's Gate. I've also noticed...
Can I just say that I feel so bad for anyone listening or the folks who just can't see the map, because this map is gorgeous. This is such a cool map.
Yeah.
I will share this map on our Discord if anybody wants to see it in the future.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, and I never use this word, it's dope.
I would say it's dope.
Dope.
Yes.
Well, yeah, this is one of those maps that I just like stayed up really late. My partner was asleep next to me, and I was just like drawing on a piece of hardware that I have.
A tablet device can also be a computer.
A tablet device that could also be a computer. But anyways, we have to figure out where we're going to go next. We have the golden chrysanthemum, which is retrieved from the shadow marquee. We have the mountain orchid, the snow plum, and the oasis bamboo. The mountain orchid brings color to the places closest to heaven. The snow plum only blossoms during the coldest winters, and the oasis bamboo grows where life struggles to thrive. And as Shuang explains this, we need to figure out where to go. Just where are we to go to next?
So out of character, I feel like we talked
Yeah.
about kind of where we wanted to go next. In character, I know Ning always pushes for like the most efficient path possible. Like, what is the next closest thing? And then I know Walid and Dong Feng have like other ideas about how to go about this adventure. I don't recall kind of what we decided on out of character though.
Yeah.
So we have out of character. We talked about the Shimmering Badlands, which I'll ping on roll 20. In terms of being pragmatic, the place where life struggles to thrive would be the Shimmering Badlands. It wasn't always a place like that, though.
Right.
Life struggles to thrive there because of the people of Xia. That is out of game.
Yeah. I mean, I think we.
If Ning, actually, Steve, can you give me a roll?
Yeah.
So with Quest, you're only rolling d20s and there's no damage. But we got a 14, which is a flat-out success. Steve, you would know a couple of things about the Shimmering Badlands. You would know that the Shimmering Badlands were once occupied by a group of people called, well, at least in Xia, they're referred to as the People of Bronze. They were an ancient kingdom of proud metal workers who were annexed by Xia during the War of the Sands. And their home was once like the verdant core of the entire Emerald Realms. It's said that the first Empress of Xia actually used her magic and siphoned all of the water from their land and made the southern floodplain the Kingdom of Mist in order to save her own people. But that's all you know. You've heard stories about how the first Empress destroyed an entire region of the world.
And I'm sure they deserved it.
And you certainly believe that they deserved it.
Oh yeah.
You certainly believe that they deserved it. The place of the coldest winters would be near Heaven's Gate. So that would be in the
fun.
north. And you as players kind of know what's going on up there already. And if the audience or the listeners watched or listened to our Gen Con show, then they would also know. The place closest to heaven would be the tallest mountains. So there is a mountain range that runs alongside here, like this, kind of bordering the Shimmering Badlands and the southern floodplain. So regardless of, which one we want to get first, you're probably traveling northwest. We could go to the Shimmering Badlands, then hit up the mountains, and then hit up Heaven's Gate. You could do it in that order, or you can go the opposite.
So while Shuang is riding on Walid's back, he kind of turns around and says, "What do the other ones do? Because if this one is fire, are the others fire? Can I have fire? Can I get one of those?"
Kind of looks and she says, "Well, hard to say. We'll have to see when we find them. Well, Willie, these are not toys. These are.
But give me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, she kind of looks at this moment. You could see that like Shuang kind of is just like kind of judging Walid. She's seeing Walid at his most immature right now, and Shuang has been kind of like kicked into serious mode by Ning. And while she probably would have been like totally on board with like, well, let's figure out, let's theorize. She's like, Walid, I think the decision is up to Commander Ning, and she just ends it there.
Walid pulls a face and says, "Okay, Professor."
She says,
Yep.
the professor is Penyan.
from this map, Ning kind of says, just interjecting and kind of going down that path. She says, I think our best route is to continue to the Shimmering Badlands. It'll be a long travel, but then we can hug the mountains, head to Heaven's Gate, and that'll line us up for a quick journey back to Chang'an, and then we can report our findings.
She says, yeah, sounds good. I have a family at nearby. We can stop there. Perhaps rest, see if Dong Feng's wounds need to be attended to.
It sounds wise. It seems that the soldiers need some respite, maybe a chance to reset themselves. They seem agitated. Let's do that.
You wanted to make it 3 hours restive.
She says, okay. In fact, I will... Actually, no. She catches herself. She says, Commander, it might be wise to send a scout ahead. We will be heading in the same direction as Jingde. Perhaps it would be good to check on the progress of the shard there.
I agree. Thank you for your input.
So
we'll do that.
The town that we're going to be heading to is going to be around there. If you see that little square I made on the map, I'll update this as we go. It's a small town, and it's called Lie Yue. Agatha and I came up with this one. Now, she says it'll take us a couple of days to get there. She says, but when we get there, Commander, I think it best that we leave the soldiers at Jingde and you shed your sovereign banner garb.
Shuang, speak plainly. Why do you make the suggestion?
Says, well, how far have you been outside of Chang'an?
I've read reports all across Xia.
But how far have you been? Reports, tell stories that the writer wants them to tell. But how far have you been? What have you seen outside of the capital?
This is my first campaign across the plains.
She says, the people of Lie Yue do not like the government.
And why is that?
Well, perhaps it's best that you see for yourself. I don't think you'll believe me.
I understand. I will take this under advisement. We will not bring the soldiers to Lie Yue.
Shall we then take down the tent?
Let's. And I think Ning's energy is just kind of like one of a lot of turmoil, kind of like tempered through like being absolutely fatigued at this point. And she's just kind of, though she says like, yes, do that, I think it's more of like a wave of the hand and less enthusiastic than she usually is.
As you like wave your hand, the tent actually like just like lifts up off of the ground in an instant. The soldiers were all waiting outside because they were so scared that they had fucked up before that they were just waiting. And as you're like, yep, let's go, they take the tent and just like throw it in one of the wagons. We're ready to go. It's almost as if they're trying too hard to be extra efficient because they made you mad. And now we're on the road. Ning, I'm assuming that. Do you think Ning is going to be kind of like crashing at this point?
I think so. I think, it's not too hard to travel across the roads and whatnot.
No, it's safe.
But they're moving at a pretty slow standard pace, maybe even slower than, maybe they were coming here. She's not pressing them very hard. Cool.
So we're on the road. We've got a caravan of wagons and horses and marching soldiers. Dong Feng and Walid, what are you two doing on the road? Would you be marching? Would you be sitting in a wagon? What do you think?
I think when we first took off, shoot, I'm trying to remember whose horse was Willie trying to befriend all the time? Was that Dong Feng's
I think that
or
was
Ning?
I think that was Dong Feng's horse.
Yep.
Ah, so
Right.
I have a horse.
So yeah, when that first happens, Dong Feng, when everybody's about to sort of get moving, Willie tries to jump onto Dong Feng's horse until I guess you come down and like go, "What's this?" And then right, it gets off, and then he's riding one of the wagon horses.
You're saying riding one of the wagon horses? Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, he's just pulling the wagon. It doesn't have a saddle. He's just riding bareback. That's what he's doing.
And there's actually
so
somebody who's actually steering, and Willie's sitting there like as if he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not gonna march with like a commoner. Come on.
How about Dong
He's a
Feng?
contractor for Zhou
He's a
Zhuang,
contractor.
Yeah, I think I am riding my horse and checking to make sure that it's not eating any of my food. And I'm also just absently, I keep scratching, or I guess it's my right hand, my arm, where all the burn marks are.
Yeah.
I think it's a little itchy or something.
As you
and-
actually scratch them, as if you aggravate them, you notice that they glow when you do that.
Fascinating.
And when you scratch in the night, it actually like illuminates the area around you.
Oh, that's so inconvenient. I think is what I say as like during one of the times when it's like getting to dusk or something, or we're still kind of on the road.
Yeah.
And then it just like starts glowing.
When you pass by Jingde later, you notice that the perimeters have expanded.
Gotcha.
Well,
So is this the report from the scout that went ahead?
yeah.
Okay.
The scout who went ahead actually says you're actually going to see the base of operations for Jingde on this road that we're on. It has expanded so much since then. And as your caravan is making their way along this road that is heading northwest, you see up ahead a base of operations for the Sovereign Banner, flying the Sovereign Banner flags and the Emerald Standard. They kind of look and say, Commander Ning, you're back!
Yes. What do you have to report?
Well, the Jade has spread considerably since you last left. We are having a very difficult time maintaining this perimeter and ensuring that people do not get exposed to this. There have been several incidents where, well, wandering folk have accidentally been exposed to the Jade.
Were these encounters fatal?
They were as the initial ones. Do you remember the family in the house?
I do, yes.
Well, they are as that family was, turned to stone.
In the trenches in the water, it's not slowing down the spread?
It slows it down a little bit. If we dig very deep, the Jade will run down the walls of the trenches and then up.
Ning places a hand on the soldier's shoulder and says, "Continue digging as deep trenches as you can. Stop the spread as much as possible. Slow it down."
We have called to the capital for reinforcements, aid, but they have not responded to our requests. Can you spare any soldiers?
Of course, this is of the utmost importance. We must contain this spread. That is the Empress's wish.
So, what percentage of your soldiers are going to leave with these people? Essentially, you had the right amount of soldiers at the beginning, but now, since this has spread so much, it's going to be very difficult to contain for the soldiers that you've left there, and they're being spread very thin.
Because a growing circle grows according to pi.
Exactly. Is that what
know
Waleed
things.
said?
No, Willie does not know anything. I think we had a rousing debate about whether he could friggin' read, so...
And Waleed says, yes, and as the dough spreads out.
So Ning's gonna kind of kind of purse her lips a little bit, and then she gives a percentage that would be quite severe, considering they basically need to march pretty far north. But less soldiers mean less rations that need to be carried. They'll be closer to the capital. They'll be able to get supplies. So more or less half her contingency, she's going to leave here to dig trenches and stop the spread.
Okay, so you leave half of them, and Shuang says, we must move on then.
Of course. And Ning instructs the soldier to also give part of the next report that Ning has put up half her contingency here. So she's moving with just half her original squadron.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to do here, or do you want to keep pushing forward?
I kind of want to just see that person with the beautiful hair. Remember that?
Sexy Simu Liu?
Yes.
Well, Sexy Simu Liu is at Josha's spear.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Darn it.
He's got that baby, right?
He's got the baby.
Yeah, I wanted to check on the baby.
They're okay.
There's some weird drama going on at Josha's spear for Ning.
Yeah, Ning's got some stuff there that...
Ning has drama everywhere.
Ning does have drama everywhere. Very true.
Maybe Ning is drama, so everywhere she goes.
Oh, no.
Snap.
Have you ever seen Ning and drama in the same room at the same time? Because...
Oh, my God. For those of you who are just catching us now or just starting to listen or don't remember, in episode 2, there was an NPC named Jia Jing, the Vanguard, who was a captain of the Emerald Standard, who previously had feelings for Ning, and they trained at the military academy of Xia together.
But he never knew your real position, right?
She never knew.
She didn't know that.
Sorry, she.
Didn't she get friend zoned?
Well, that's what Ning friend zoned.
Comrade zoned.
Comrade zoned.
Yeah. Ning was a no-show to the prom. The ball.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Harsh.
Ouch.
Super harsh.
So.
Because she said yes. I mean.
So perhaps we should move then.
Yeah, if Sexy Simu Liu isn't here,
so what's the point? Sexy Simu Liu is trapped in Australia right now, filming Shang-Chi.
Because I have cinematic brain on, I'd like a scene where maybe someone, like a soldier or someone, kicks like a rock into the jade. Because it's
and it turns to jade.
Yeah. Just because I think it's a cool like visual from me.
Well, like every single blade of grass is turned to jade.
Yeah.
And in this sort of cinematic scene, you actually see like the panning cameras, and you actually see forests now entirely made of jade, as this has gone beyond the reaches of the town itself. You see young children,
like
birds about to take flight, flowers in mid-bloom, children playing in the woods, touching the jade. You see hunters. Unsuspecting hunters turn to stone, animals, as this like kind of like fades in and out between all of these different sort of scenes.
It's really tragic.
I'm thinking of this kind of like Hero, like the Jet Li movie.
Oh, that's such a great movie.
Yeah, but and great visuals, right? Especially with the colors. And then there's the 4. Yeah.
So I think with that visual, and the fact that they are moving with half the amount of bodies. Mm-hmm. They've taken some of the rations that these soldiers would have needed because they're closer to the capital and supply lines. Ning takes a moment to tell the soldiers, as you can see, a disaster has happened here and continues to spread and kill the people of Xia. We, all of us, are the battalion that can stop this. And every day that we waste on the road is another day that a family is turned to stone. A child unsuspectingly loses everything. From here on in, we move at double pace. It will be hard. The road will be harsh. We make one stop at Lie Yue, and then we make double time to the Shimmering Badlands. Time is of the utmost importance.
So you make haste towards Lie Yue, and
is that like a leadership role or just? That's pretty solid speech, is what I want to say.
Yeah,
I don't think you should have to roll because then there's a chance of failing, and then it kind of ruins the role play.
Yeah, sorry. What I meant is this reflected mechanically?
Not in quest.
That was
unless,
a great speech.
Unless Steve, you want to use. Ning is kind of built like a spy and a Yoxia, so not really. However, I
There is
believe
the inspire move.
there is the
which I
inspire
have,
move, which Dong Feng has.
but I don't talk.
I don't talk. Okay, cool. That's
Their
fine.
presence is inspiring.
Maybe you inspired Ning to make
Yeah.
the speech.
If you want to use the AP to do that, by all means.
I think, I mean, I'm down, but I think it also is a nearby NPC, a singular nearby NPC. So,
So let's make our way over then to Lie Yue. As you near the town, it's not too far from Jingde. It's perhaps a day's journey. Shuang reminds you to shed your imperial garb. She also says to do the same for the soldiers.
Yep.
The soldiers are ecstatic because they don't have to wear the restrictive gear. They get to wear casual clothing. And she says, when we arrive...
But I assume they still look like narcs.
They got little earpieces.
Like, yeah, they're casually dressed, but it's all perfectly new clothing or something.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like a plainclothes police officer. You know that they are cops.
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
and their posture, right? Their posture must give them away.
They walk. Why is everybody walking in unison? Yeah, so they're wearing plain clothes, and Shuang says, when we arrive, just say that we are traders. Just say that we're here to, let's just say that we're heading west in search of treasure in the Shimmering Badlands, and we've just come here to enjoy the Dragon Springs. Agatha,
The character,
you're muted.
dope. I don't think Agatha was muted. I think Agatha was just like doing. I was just like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Dragon Springs.
Let's just say that
what?
we're here to enjoy the Dragon Springs before we head out into the Badlands.
Understood. Yes. Okay, let's go.
So, as you need... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, well, you can go ahead and set the stage. I was just going to say, I think that the lead, seeing all of these people dress and act like narcs is like, okay, this is stupid, or this is going to end.
You've
poorly.
never been a real bandit.
Exactly right. But I think in the fight, my like nice new silk clothing got ripped up. Right.
Yeah.
So I've got like terrible armor with relatively new nice clothing that's ripped up though. Anyway, he's gonna break off from the group, and he's gonna sort of come in from like another entrance into the town, kind of come in kind of separately, mostly just to see either where if there are any bandit friends that he might know, and B, potentially warn them to get out of the town if there's Imperial guards coming in, but C, mostly just to see like how the town reacts to everybody coming in, and just keeping an eye on that.
Did you sneak away without telling anyone?
Can you give me a roll, please, Ammar? Not
Yeah.
for anything related to something that the GM wants to do.
No, of course not. Okay, I am going to roll in D20 with a D20. Or roll 20 with D20. Whoa.
Yeah, did you tell boss?
One. Catastrophe.
So, as you're heading over, Ning's kind of trying to focus, and Shuang's going to be like, stop marching in unison. You start with your left foot. You start with your right foot. Ning, you got to relax. I mean, she. This is the first time she's called you Ning instead of Commander Ning as well. I don't know how that strikes you. Try to be like Dong Feng. Dong Feng's kind of chilling on the horse. And none of you noticed that. None of you noticed that Walid has actually broken off and disappeared into the forest. There's actually that one horse that Walid was riding bareback. Is just the horse there, and the horse is kind of like unburdened by Walid.
The horse is so happy.
The horse is so happy.
But
Walid,
still pulling a wagon, right?
yeah, still pulling a wagon, but it's no longer
but
pulling a
it's-
wagon and carrying
and carrying-
Walid,
yeah.
who's also probably like, "What's your name, horse? Do you want to eat horse?" Brushing the horse while it's actually trying to do hard labor. Walid, you rolled a 1.
Jeez.
So, in Quest, a 1 is considered a catastrophe. You automatically fail, and you will suffer a severe setback. So,
Catastrophe.
Walid, you begin traveling through the woods that border the town. You've run ahead. You're very good at handling rough terrain. But you come to a clearing near the town, and you just see blood everywhere.
Oh no. Sounds like a plot hook. Okay.
Blood everywhere.
Is that what Walid says?
Yeah, Walid is like Deadpool. It breaks the
Willie
fourth
turns
wall.
to the camera.
Well, he's
Sounds
kind of-
like-
Sounds like an ambush. You see dead bodies everywhere. No, you see blood everywhere and bodies piled at the center.
Oh, gross. Okay.
These bodies, they wear like what looks to be like piecemeal armor. Their weapons are all kind of like piled in a neat sort of pile aside of these bodies.
Okay, I mean, Walid, being an experienced bandit, immediately takes 3 steps back. And
And
then
as you
does
take
kind of a-
3 steps back,
Oh no.
you feel something sharp press at the base of your skull. And as you kind of step back a bit, you instantly feel a little bit of pain. There's a blade
Okay.
pointing at the back of your skull.
Walid stops stepping back.
And all you hear is a voice that says, I told you bandits to never come near my town again.
Shit.
That is a catastrophe with a capital C.
Yeah, seriously. By the way, I really like that they call it a catastrophe because that's part of the narrative, right? Like a
Exactly.
critical fail is a mechanical thing, whereas this tells you what actually happens in the
And a
narrative.
20 is a triumph. So I like the difference between a triumph and a catastrophe. But anyways, you feel the point of a blade at the base of your skull.
Yeah.
Like if you move or if they push, they put any force into it, you're dead. Like this is clearly somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay.
And it's a young
Can I-
sounding voice.
Oh, okay. Can I activate my iron skin ability?
Ho 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 ho. Ho 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 ho. Yes, you can. Sorry. Sorry. We're all like, ho 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 ho. Yes, you can. So this comes from our custom class for Quest called the Martial Artist. And Iron Skin allows you to spend a varying amount of AP, so your points, your action points, your action economy, your adventure points. If you spend 1, you would negate up to 3 points of damage, or if you spend 3, you will ignore all damage from the next blow.
I think I'm gonna spend 1 for the moment. It takes a turn. I'm using my turn
well,
to
this is
activate this?
there's no turns, right? Because this is more like we are
Right.
reacting to each other in the narrative. That's why I like it, because you could just be
Yes.
like, if you activate your Iron Skin, it also is. It looks exactly how you want it to look. So it doesn't mean your skin necessarily turns to metal. In this case, you might be reinforcing your skin with your chi.
Yes. Did you just catch a fly out of the air?
I just caught a fruit fly.
I don't know how to react to that. Like,
Listen, Mulan, everyone has chi. Chi is not just for boys. Chi is for everyone. Sorry.
Is that what that was? Okay.
They say it in
never
Mulan,
mind.
it's dumb. But anyways, you essentially could actually harness your chi and make your skin impenetrable if you wanted in an instant. So
Yeah.
with this, you could even push back against the blade and knock them off, like guard.
I think actually you're right. I think that I'm gonna. Sorry. Adventure points refresh at the end of a session.
No, you do get some at the end,
Right. Okay. So I'm just.
but
trying
I
to figure
wouldn't
out whether
hold
I'm
on
gonna-
to them. I wouldn't hold on to them.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sort of do a little bit of a flex, which is to say I'm going to spend 3 action points or
Oh.
Adventure points, AP.
AP. And sorry, if I spend 1, is that up to 3 points of damage only in the next blow against me? Or
No, just you have
throughout
like basically a shield of 3 points.
Okay. But if I spend 3, that only protects me against the next blow? Is that
Yeah,
right?
so for instance, if you were going to get hit with like a massive, like if a boulder was falling on you, it's going to do more than 3 damage, right? You could just spend 3 points and be like, or like allow this thing to smush you and then you just walk out of it.
Right. Okay. I think in that case, yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and spend 1
Okay.
action because this might be a combat, it might not be. Or no, screw it. I'm actually going to spend 3. This is what I'm going to do. Waleed feels this, takes a quick breath, and just kind of reinforces. Yeah, it's a chi thing. I think there would be a citation inflected version of that I'll work out. And then basically snaps his head to the side and brings his elbow up to grab to like push fully against the edge of whatever blade is behind him, and then grabs the like hilt near the hilt with his hand, and like tries to rip it out of their grasp.
Give me a roll for that one. You're not going to take any damage, but give me a roll to see if you are successful.
If I succeed.
If you succeed. And if you're using...
Go, baby.
Okay, so as you do that, 15. You back off and you feel the blade run against the side of your head. You feel pressure at the base of your skull. As you turn, you manage to grab at least where you think the blade is going to be. But you don't actually see a blade. You see a young man holding what looks to be a jian, like a light sword, but you see no blade. But your hand brushes against something, almost as if the blade is invisible.
Oh,
and you stand there holding what feels to be an invisible blade projecting from the hilt of this jian.
Okay, so they have a physical hilt, but there's no visible blade.
At least that you can see right now. And staring straight at you is a young man. He's got, well-kept short hair. He wears like form-fitting like robes. And he's holding out his sword right at your face. And you can actually see as the sunlight kind of streams through and trickles through the canopy, you're holding on to a sword that looks to be made of river water, solid water. 7 crystalline stars adorn the blade of this sword. And he pulls it out from your hand, expecting to cut you, and it doesn't.
Okay, so I was not able to twist it out of their grasp. Okay.
Unfortunately not. But you were also unharmed.
Yes, which is cool.
He twirls it around and holds it up to your neck again. You could feel it brushing against your neck, but again, you're not taking any damage. I'm considering this all one sort of attack. And he holds this blade against you. You then see very clearly that this sword is a solid blade unlike Ning's. It has the form of a jian, except the blade is almost transparent. And it would be invisible except for the 7 crystalline swords that run up the flat edge of the blade.
Cool.
And he says, "Who are you?"
Waleed kind of smirks a bit.
I know how to use this. And he kind of points at the pile of bodies.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. It's a neat trick. I know somebody who can do something similar, but I'm not a bandit. And he's put up his hands and just like they're apparently...
Prove to me that you're not a bandit.
Don't you see my fine clothes? I was attacked by bandits. That's why I'm in the woods by myself. Do you want me to do a roll or something?
No. You do make a good point. Puts the sword down, but unlike Ning, sheathes the blade. It does not turn to liquid. It is solid. And looks and he says, "Where are you from? Where are you coming from? I've never seen you around Lie Yue. You're not local."
No, I'm a traveler. I'm a traveling scholar. I like to travel around and learn things.
A scholar from Daesh.
You know my land.
Oh, yes. Well, I've seen someone who looks very similar to you come through our town before.
That wasn't me, right?
Is your name... No, it's not. It's not you.
Yeah.
Is your name Waleed? Would you happen to know a Waleed?
Yes.
Someone from Daesh named Waleed came through town before.
Did he now? Yes, I've heard of this Waleed. Yeah, he's a rascal and a rogue.
What's your name?
D-Lo.
D-Lo.
D-Law. There you go.
D-Law?
I love it.
He says,
I'm impressed I got that as quickly as I did.
he says, that's a strange name, D-Law.
Well, you clearly haven't met a lot of people from Daesh.
I've only met the one. The last person I met from Daesh who came through town was looking for someone. Well,
Were they?
yeah, but you're clearly not from here, and you're clearly not one of these bandits based on the state of your imperial clothing.
Yeah, the fashion and cut would probably be from the capital, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Chinese sizes doesn't fit well. It's not the same as our North American sizes.
As you learned recently.
Learned that the hard way. He says, well, are you coming to town, or why are you in the woods? You said you were attacked by bandits. I've killed all the bandits that have come near here.
Right. Waleed looks over. Does he maybe recognize anyone, or even like, I don't know, like symbols of different bandit groups or bands or anything like that?
I don't think so. At least not from here.
Okay.
You definitely don't. I don't think you recognize anybody. These just look like your ragtag bandits, not to the organization that Waleed is used to.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I think Waleed answers, half truthfully and says, I'm heading to the Shimmering Badlands to do learning. And so I was hoping, I'd heard about your hot springs, your famous hot springs. I thought I could rest a while and rest my weary body from travel.
He says, are you here with the other group?
Which group?
The group traveling on horseback. I can hear them.
Sorry, can Waleed hear them?
Yes,
Or
you
sorry.
can hear like marching,
Okay.
like clop, 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 and then like the marching of the feet.
Oh, no. We traveled together for a bit, but yeah, no, I'm not with them.
He says, well, my name is Han, and I'm the protector of this town.
Lovely to meet
Very,
you. Han
very
the Protector.
boastful.
Yeah, how young is he?
like 16 years old.
Jeez. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, Han, if you would be so kind as to escort me into your town and protect me, that would be fantastic. That would be excellent.
Yeah, totally.
I'm trying to sort of like
Han
work
kind of
the-
like is like the teenage protector of this town. He's very boastful.
Yeah.
That's the impression that you get. He said, "Well, come with me. I want to make sure that I see this group before they enter." He says, and as he walks you through the clearing, you can see that these the bandits have all been killed by sword strokes. Han, this is clearly Han's work. He explains
Right.
how bandits have been attacking the town, and nobody in Chang'an has actually sent help. There is no military from Chang'an anywhere near here. The only time the military have ever come this far was when they went to Jingde.
Okay.
And so he takes you to town. Now back to the rest of the group. As your caravan of treasure hunters who walk in unison, no matter how much Shuang tried, everybody ends up walking back in unison again.
Yeah.
Enter the town. You see a figure step out from the tree line. He holds out his hand. It's a young teenager. He says, "Stop!" Behind him, Waleed.
Oh God. Okay.
It's me, D-Law. We traveled together for a bit. He sort of Waleed jumps up like he's trying to help.
You
but
say
sorry.
D-Law?
So Ning is going to use one of her skills.
Okay.
So she has persona as being a spy. I'm going to spend 2 AP adventure points to become a commoner. I get a wardrobe and everything like that. So just common clothes. And Ning is going to walk up to this young person and just kind of twirl her hair. He's going to go, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry. We thought that we could just kind of walk in. Your place looks so good. I just thought, we just do that."
He's holding out his head, and then all of a sudden you can see just like blush begins to form. I'm Han.
I love that name. That name's so nice. My name's May, and this is all my merchant traveling band.
Is that the Dong Feng's face too?
Okay, first I see D-Law, and then I see
Hey.
May.
But Han kind of goes, "Oh, D-Law, are these the other travelers?"
Yes. We traveled together for a time, but I don't really know them.
Han is kind of like very infatuated.
Oh, you don't know us. We're basically besties. We're basically besties. I know you don't like it, but you love me. I know you do. And there's like a moment where Ning's persona just fades, and you just see Ning for like a very brief moment, just being like,
Like in the eyes. Like the
Yeah.
smile is there, but the eyes.
This is that anime moment when like you see the close up of the eyes and the lightning that go across the screen.
but then May
Yeah.
comes back right away. Mr. Han, we would really like it if you just kind of, actually, you're from here, right? Could you kind of show us around? I heard about your hot springs. I heard about I think they're called like the Dragon Hot Springs. And I would love if someone just kind of showed us around.
I'll show you around. I'm Han.
I think we're going to be like kind of best friends.
Hopefully more. He accidentally says that out loud. Yeah, I'm Han. I protect Lie Yue from bandits. Because, well, the Emerald Standard really suck. Bunch of weaklings. They don't protect us.
I don't think I've ever heard of the Emerald Standard. Who are they?
No, it's just soldiers from Chang'an. They're the worst.
Oh, they sound like it. But it's a good thing that you're here because you look like you could really take care of the people here.
I do take care of them. I've killed like 15 bandits.
Oh my god, that's so many bandits.
I know, right?
But you know what? Everyone here is real tired. We're just like real tired. Do you think we could maybe kind of like get moving to those hot springs? Because I need to get off my feet. I'm real tired.
Sure. Totally. I'll take you in. Okay, come on in. Come. I guess the rest of you too.
Yeah, I get off my horse and just like lean on the horse, like.
And then Han just starts running. Follow me, May. This is my house.
Your house is so cute, just like you.
D-Law.
Yeah, I sort of sidle up to Dong Feng, I think is the word.
The soldiers are like, "Who's D-Law?"
Oh, yes, D-Law.
Shuang is like,
Oh, not every town I've been to has fond memories of me. There's not a lot of statues of me built around here. He whispers. He doesn't actually say that out loud.
Did you do something? Did you rob this place before?
Shuang is like, "What happened in the forest? Where were you? You just came out of the woods." May, check out my sword.
Oh my god, it's so sharp. I don't think I've ever seen a sword this sharp before.
It's pretty cool, right? It was my great grandfather's.
Oh my god. Was he as handsome as you are?
Well, I never met him. But, you know, I've met me, and I'm pretty handsome.
Is this based on yeah, this is amazing. Is this based on an avatar? The I think her name is May and she does the like ditzy thing.
Her name is Ty Lee.
Oh,
But
shit,
there's
that's
also a May, but yes.
That's a different character. Yeah.
But anyway, Shmog's like, what happened? What happened in the woods? Waleed, D-Law, what happened?
He kind of like
Is it a D apostrophe law? De-Law?
I think it would actually be like the apostrophe would be just before the W at the end, I guess.
Okay.
So it would be DEEL apostrophe W. So like D.
De-Law. Okay, anyways. D-Law. And she struggles to say Waleed. D-Law, what happened? Who is this kid?
Waleed sort of says loudly, "Yes, this strappy young lad protected me and definitely took care of those bandits." And then, kind of in a whisper, says there were 15 people who were like quite brutally killed in the woods. There, he claims he did it. He's got some sort of magic sword or something that looked kind of like water. I don't know. And then he sort of like gets back to like smile, like he was smiling throughout all of that, but he's like now smiling again.
Water?
Loudly saying,
Water?
Yeah, like some kind of.
No, that's impossible. There are only 2 blades made of water, ever made of water. Josha's Edge, and Commander Ning has those. Can you tell me more about this sword?
So I sort of like quickly described the sword in more detail. Like it's mostly invisible, but it's got these. Was it 7? Little swords within it. So I described that.
She says, "No, I'd like to see that for myself."
Yeah, I think maybe I can arrange that. Just to say, I think Waleed now sidles up to May and says, "Get him to take out his sword and show you his sword form. There's something very interesting about the sword."
That's what May says, and he's like, "Okay." And you can tell that he's like kind of like, "Okay, well, we're gonna go to the Dragon Springs, May. I guess D-Law wants to go too, and are you hungry?"
Yes.
Oh my god, we're all so famished, but I bet you know the best place to get some food.
You hear like a stop, and like at the opening to Han's house, you see an older man walk out.
Okay.
Han, who's this? Who are these people? This is May.
Hi.
That's D-Law.
Waleed has jumped behind Dong Feng now and is like kind of hiding from all of the villagers as trying to stay behind them.
D-Law is somewhere that they are. They are.
Hand.
One hand just kind of comes out from behind the shrimp. They're travelers. They're heading to the desert. They just stopped here to go to the springs. I don't know who that is. Points to Dong Feng.
Shi Feng is my name.
Shi Feng. They're okay. They're not bandits. Kind of looks and he kind of says, looks at all the soldiers and, "You, come here." Points to one of the youngest looking soldiers. Soldier kind of looks at you, Ning.
So May kind of like is like, "Me? Okay." And just like walks ahead of that soldier and is like,
And as you kind of say, "Oh, me," and he kind of says, he holds out his hand, and as you move to step forward, and you can't move.
"Oh."
Not you. Her, pointing to one of the junior soldiers.
Okay.
And as you try to step forward, you literally can't move. And you feel as if like the wind is pushing you back. As this old man holds his hand out.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the soldier's still kind of looking as if to get permission from May.
Yeah, May gives like a very subtle like nod, and then puts on like a show of like reaching around to figure out what's going on. Just like, what's happening?
Oh my god, this breeze. And the soldier kind of goes forward, and the old man kind of looks and says, "Your sword, let me see it." The soldier kind of turns back and looks at you, Ning.
May says, no, show him. It's fine.
He draws out his dao and hands it to the old man. The old man carries it and twirls it with surprising skill. Tosses it to the ground. Get out. All of you. All of you.
Wait. No,
And Han is like, but May is my friend.
Han, you know we can trust us. We just came to go to the hot springs.
Perhaps you should use your real voice, Commander.
Okay.
Han kind of goes, but May.
I would love to step in at this point.
Yeah, go for it.
If Steve, you cool with that? Yeah, I'll just like take like 2 steps forward and say something like, I want to say like a cool idiom, but I can't think of any right now.
Insert cool idiom.
Yeah. Sir, you look very good at the sword.
Thank you.
Are you... Are there too many of us?
He says, no. It's who you are. You're from the capital, aren't you? I could see the way that this soldier looks at her. You're the commander. I don't know what you are.
Oh, I'm a shrimp.
But that blade? That's of imperial quality. You might just be a passing shrimp. And you, pointing at D-Law, you might be returning, but the rest of you are not welcome here.
Yeah, but we have to resupply.
Well, our supplies are not yours to take.
Yes, we were going to buy them. And I'm like looking at Ning like, right?
Since when does the Empire buy? They just take. They take what they want, they destroy what they want, and they ignore who they want.
That is...
You, Waleed. It's good to see you again. I don't know why you're with this rabble.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back,
like,
friend.
Yeah, steps out from behind Dong Feng's.
And Han is like, wait, you told me your name's not Waleed.
Yes. That's it.
But
and then there's just like an awkward pause for a minute.
but Waleed, we shared a meal like less than a month ago when you came through here.
Wait, sorry. out of character.
Yeah.
Is that actually okay? I did actually.
No.
No. So yeah, this is very odd, right? Because a month
This is
ago I
very
was somewhere
odd.
else.
You were somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were all together a month ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So I was like, I share a lot of meals with a lot of people. And, you never know. You seem like a lovely lad, but, you never know whether you're actually some sort of a bandit or some sort of a, I try not to give my real name to people on the street that I just meet in the woods in front of bodies. It's just, it's a good idea, Han. Maybe you should consider doing that too. A good name might be Na. You could go with Na.
Oh. Well. So
Ning holds up a hand as like Walid is like rambling through that, and then is the old man allowing her to move at all?
you can move now, as long as you're not trying to move towards him.
Yeah. So Ning looks to Walid, then looks to Han, then looks back to this senior, and says, "You might be in danger. This entire village might be in danger. Look, my soldiers need supplies. I don't know what you've heard or what stories have been told to you, but we will pay for our supplies. But understand when I say that Walid has been with us for the last month and a half. Whoever crossed through your town is an imposter."
Well, somebody who looks just like Walid, goes by the name Walid, came through town looking for an old blade.
An old blade. Walid?
I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, this is, I don't know. It must be confused. He looks kind of old. Yeah, I don't know.
What is your name? And
Well,
he said,
son.
"Well, son, can we sit, or are you going to have us just stand in the street?"
We can sit. Your soldiers can make camp outside of town.
After they buy their supplies with money to your people.
Fine.
So she turns around, she gives like quick orders and whatnot. Dong Feng, Walid, Han, let's sit. We have to get to the bottom of this.
Come into my home. And Wo-san leads you into his home, and Han kind of, as you all walk into the home, Han is just kind of looking at you. And it's kind of just like, looks betrayed, but he's also like holding his sword. And they lead you into their home. And Wo-san they kind of settle, and Wo-san says, "So you say we're in danger. Does it have to do with what's going on at Jingda?"
That's part of it. But right now, my current concern is this imposter. You telling me that this person looked exactly like Walid?
Different garb. Better dressed.
Did they disguise themselves with like mud on their face or other signs from the road?
No. Their complexion was as Walid's. Their beard was as Walid's.
And they were looking for a sword. You mentioned a sword.
Not a sword. I believe in Daesh they call them Qatar. Said that somebody owed them a blade.
And do you think they came here with a purpose? Sorry. Do you think they came here with a purpose, or was this a random stop collecting information?
Well, I mean, seems like a random stop.
And Ning looks to Walid, kind of at a loss.
Walid's face sort of darkens a bit, and let's see if this works. There we go. Look at that.
It's production value.
So yeah, there you go. So the camera cuts to just like a darker like visage, like his countenance has fallen, and the camera's cut to this like more like higher key kind of a thing. And he says, yeah, I get around, I like traveling. I'm like traveling. I might have been here, a month ago? I mean, who keeps good calendars these days anyway, right? I might have been here a month ago, might have been here a little more than that, a little less, I've been around.
Waleed, breathe. Are you not telling us something?
Oh, I don't know what I would not be telling you. No, I was almost certainly in this town a month ago. I was almost certainly wandering through, doing my own wandering thing, and I popped by and had a look. And I don't know what the Qatar. I don't know if I even had one of those things that would be a very strange thing to have.
You were with us for the last month and a half. You couldn't have been here. Someone is posing as you, and that I need you to understand, that is a danger to us. That puts us at risk.
Yeah. That would be really bad if that was true. But I don't know. Are you really going to take the word of this guy? I snuck away a few nights. When we were traveling together, I snuck away to towns to go get some drinks. I just go meet some people. Yeah, you weren't keeping an eye on me 24/7. Yeah, I popped by here a little while ago. Why not? And for reference, Waleed totally stonewalling.
Yeah, this is Commander. Based on what I've seen so far, this is not the Waleed that came through.
I imagine not. Waleed, I don't know how to say this any other way. I need you just once to take this seriously. You understand that if there's someone who has your image, we're all at risk.
Waleed looks to mainly to Dong Feng actually, and sort of also looks at Ning and considers that for the first time in a long time, he's around people he's come to care about and who seem to care about him, who've helped him out and who've tried to protect him in deadly situations. It's not like the camaraderie between bandits, which isn't really a camaraderie. You're just always watching your own back and hoping that you stay together long enough to get the job done, and then you maybe get away with some loot or whatever. And he takes a big breath and sighs like deeply, and you kind of see a sadness and that twinkle in his eye disappear, the one that you've come to really see. And he turns and says, yeah, I do know somebody like that from my past. He could take the face of anybody he wanted to. If he's hunting me, then we're all in danger. He could be any one of us. And he sort of like looks at Han for a too long moment. Looks at the
Wo-sun, yeah.
Wo-sun for a moment longer, right? And like also kind of is just to kind of reinforce the point. Kind of like looks at them.
I'm so sorry. Do you know why this imposter would be looking for this Qatar? Why they'd be out for you?
Waleed's eyes glaze over for a moment as he's having shoot, I guess I should have actually checked whether this is okay with everybody. But this experience has left Waleed with some pretty serious mental health issues, right? Which is to say, PTSD. So I want to make sure that's cool. Does everybody? Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'm not going to go into details about it, but you notice him kind of start to go in and out a bit as he's kind of. But you also notice his whole body kind of tense up, and he starts sweating a little bit as he's kind of reliving that moment, and then sort of shakes his head off, and he says, "There was a job. There was a job, and it didn't go right." And if he's coming after me, I don't know why he would. He got away with everything else in that job. But sorry, was it they? I think
it was they.
It was they, excuse me. They got away with everything else. So I don't know why they would be coming after me. They also, I mean, they took the loot and they took everything from me. I don't know why they're coming after me. And kind of repeats that a few times.
I think
It's okay, Agatha.
Sorry.
I think Ning Ning also has like a lot of stuff to unpack, and I think there's a moment where she just kind of understands, not fully, but there's a moment of understanding, and Ning reaches out and like places a hand on top of Waleed's hand, but there's like that very slight pause just before contact, and then just has that contact with Waleed for a second.
Waleed jerks for a moment, but then catches himself and allows that to happen.
I'll do everything in my power to make sure that you're safe. That's a promise to you.
Waleed sort of turns his head and looks sort of right into Ning's eyes and says, I believe you.
Ning slowly looks back to Wosan, says, do you know anything else about this imposter? What they were looking for, where they were headed?
We don't know where they were heading. They were looking for a sword. They said they were searching for a bandit. Now, my grandson, Han kind of standing there, just like kind of perks up, looking very proud, puffs out his chest. He has been protecting our town. Says, you folks from the capital don't want to waste your soldiers protecting people like us, despite the services that we did for former empresses in ending the war with the people of Bronze.
If you want to speak plainly, you have my permission. Clearly there is something that you just wish to say, so just say it.
Or clearly, you know nothing about the true history of this land.
What does it matter?
It is a matter of what is right. Look. Generations ago, Shunsha, when she went to war with the Oasis Confederacy in what is now the Shimmering Badlands, our people, the people of Lie Yue, powerful Fangxi masters, assisted her in destroying that land. And what did we get for it? Nothing. She cast us aside.
That's not true. We built roads.
You built roads. Roads that you would never walk upon. Roads that would never take soldiers from the capital to Lie Yue to protect us. Now our children protect us. Children that can be living full lives. Instead, Han uses the sword of his great-grandfather. Han, show them your sword. Han draws the sword. This is Chunjun. Purity.
Oh.
This sword was forged by old master Yeze with the assistance of the god of rain. This is steel so pure you could see through it.
I don't know what to say.
Of course you don't know what to say. You don't know about the true history of this land. Do you know that the heavens are broken?
Yes. And
Have you seen it?
with my own eyes?
Have you really seen it? He grabs you by the scruff of your neck and drags you outside. Look! And turns your head and points at the clouds. Above Jingde is a massive hole in the sky.
Oh, that we just never noticed before?
I mean, we probably
And
seen
look
it.
over there. Another one to the north. That one is above the Scar of Xia. Do you know about the Scar of Xia?
I know that people are dying.
So you don't know about the Scar of Xia.
What does it matter? People are dying, and we're here to stop it.
The
and yet
Scar
you
of
speak
Xia
in
is the
riddles.
reason why this is happening. You know what happened after we helped Xia end the War of the Sands? Well, one of the people of bronze, came into the southern floodplain and sundered the earth in one blow. Now darkness is coming out of this. Wildfires are going to burn the land. Wicked demons will consume the innocent, the people you supposedly protect. And once again, the flood will wash away the history of Xia.
No.
Your empress is evil.
No.
Her line is wicked.
You're wrong. You are so wrong, you don't even
Then
see
why
it
are
over
they
there.
here? Points to Dong Feng. I know what you are. Xian. I know you come from the heavens. You are here because the gods doubt Josha's determination to serve them.
I take a sip of the tea. And I think I look a little impressed.
Says, you are not here seeking treasure. You're looking for something. Something more powerful. What are you really doing here? Tell me the truth and you can stay.
The truth is, the Empress has sent us to collect and understand 4 powerful flowers.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if they were flowers or like there was some other like mystical
No,
thing.
they're flowers.
Oh, I get it now. The 4 gentlemen. Okay.
At the end of this, I
those-
will explain the history behind all of this.
With those in place, we can stop this catastrophe, this disaster. Do you know how many people are dead in Jingda?
Far less than have died in the Badlands. Perhaps this is the gods resetting everything. Perhaps Xia is paying for the sins of all the empresses.
And Ning, at this point in time, has not kind of struggled against him, just having the respect for him. But at this moment in time, just puts a hand on his hand and just forces him to let her go.
Mm-hmm.
And says, it is tragic that people died. That is history, and there is nothing we can do for them. But there are so many people out there that we could save. And all you want to do is just spout history at me. I don't care about that history. All I care about is fulfilling the wishes of the Empress so that people don't die.
So do you care more about the empress or the people?
I care about both, she says with a little bit of like a twinge.
Speak what is in your heart. Look. The choices you are about to make will not be without pain or consequences. Embrace that pain. Tell me your truth.
I don't know the truth. I don't know what's in my heart. Is that what you want to hear? You just want to hear that I'm confused and I'm just trying to get day by day to bring the soldiers to these places that I'm sent to that I've never been before, and that we need to find mysterious flowers that I have no clue what they could do. I don't know if they could kill us. You happy? Is that what you want?
Yes.
Well, good, I guess.
It means that You have yet to find your real purpose, and perhaps this journey will. And perhaps that purpose will not be to serve the Empress. It tells me that your mind is open.
I suppose. Look, we came to use the hot springs to resupply. Are we welcome here?
Yes.
Or do you have more lectures?
No. Enjoy the Dragon Springs. Enjoy our food. It will be unlike anything you've ever eaten in the capital.
Sorry. This is out of character.
Is that supposed to sound ominous? Because it sounded hella ominous.
No, sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Ning bows, calls for Waleed and Dong Feng, says, "We're done here."
Han,
Yeah.
show these people to a house where they can stay. Perhaps where the last family that the bandits took. One last dig at the Empire.
Yeah, no kidding.
You can stay there.
Come on.
And then Han, you can take our guests to the Dragon Springs. Hot Spring episode. Okay.
I think, yeah, and I think Dong Feng is actually going to just kind of like chill and be like, yeah, I'll catch up, and make like eye contact with Boss,
Yeah.
to be like, I'll follow, and then also look at Waleed. I was almost gonna say D-Law, and with a like I got you kind of, but not right now because I'm gonna
Sure.
stay
Because you're
here.
gonna peace out, yeah.
and kind of just like hovers around this around Wosan basically.
And if some of you are wondering what's going on, if you're watching this live, watching it on YouTube, or listening on the podcast, listen to our Bamboo in the Dark miniseries. We'll provide a
Yeah.
lot of context for what's happening right now.
Yeah. And it's good. Oh damn, it's good.
So they're gonna allow you to spend a couple of nights here, if you need it. You could rest up in the hot springs. The Dragon Springs are a terraced hot spring that snake down the nearby mountains. There are these pools of revitalizing mineralized water that look
Hey.
like turquoise green discs from the sky.
Nice.
The soldiers are super excited. They strip off their clothes and run to the hot springs.
Oh, they are
They're letting you stay here.
oh, including the soldiers.
Well, because their commander has proven that she has not been fully indoctrinated.
Oof.
Yeah, I that moment. Anyway, we'll talk later.
There's hope for Ning, at least in the eyes of Wosan. Ning has seen that, not everybody likes the Empress. And that the history of Xia is far more complicated. Again, good and evil is very relative. Mm-hmm. Which is why you shouldn't use alignment in your game. So yeah.
Okay. Waleed gets up somewhat shakily. Maybe he puts his hand on Dong Feng's shoulder, getting up, and sort of like walks out. But as soon as he crosses the threshold, the mask is back, and he's sort of like smiling, all smiles,
All
to
soldiers.
go hang out with the soldiers. Yeah.
Okay. So they're gonna let you rest, let you hang out in the hot springs, let you eat their food before you leave. If you need to stay longer, you can. If you have any questions, you can ask them questions. The soldiers are going to enjoy the hot springs. And what about the rest of you? Han actually asks, and he says, "So what is your real name to you, Ning?
Aw.
Are you really May?"
Han, if it makes you feel happy, I can be May.
No,
But-
I want to know who you really are.
No, you don't. And she just ends the conversation.
And walks away.
Yeah.
Han just kind of left standing there as you walk away. And then Ning walks away. Where does Ning go? What is Ning doing? Since we're on you, Steve.
I don't know. I think Ning's like super lost at this moment in time.
Oh,
I think Ning spends the rest of the evening mechanically having a meal, then just kind of mechanically resting, and doing whatever plan she needs to do. But it's all very like rote with just that emptiness.
Yep. Enjoying the mala of all the food here.
Mala! Hot pot!
Hot pot. What about Dong Feng and Walid? Or what about Dong Feng? I shouldn't say both of you. What about Dong Feng?
I am still sitting there in Wilson's house, drinking his tea, which is top notch, by the way.
You're just sitting, just the two of you sitting there in silence, drinking tea.
And then I'm gonna ask him some questions.
What do you
But
want to ask?
I don't actually remember if Dong Feng knows that he's supposed to be a sky soldier.
Dong Feng, I don't think Dong Feng knows what they are.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What's this Xian that you speak of?
Well, he looks and he says, "You are enlightened. You are someone with great power. You are pure, but perhaps unaware of it."
I am a shrimp.
No, you are more than just a shrimp.
More than just a shrimp.
More than just a shrimp.
If this was a Disney film, this is when the song would come on.
More than just a shrimp. You're more than just a shrimp. It says you were born to lead the weak against the evil. You fell from the heavens. You are celestial.
How do you know this? I came from the waters. I came from...
No, you did not come
The
from the
river.
waters. You fell to the rivers, and this is the form that you took.
How do you know this?
This is... Not many shrimp walk through Lie Yue. But beings like you are only found up in the heavens.
I assure you, there are many of us in the river outside of the capital. Not all of them are as handsome as me, but...
I find that hard to believe. Says rumors have it that a celestial fell from the Magpie Bridge and fell to Xia. Could it be you? Do you remember growing up? Do you remember your childhood as a young shrimp? Or are your memories just of the river? Just of, and looks to your weapon, your guandao, to battle? Is that all you remember?
I once had a dream that I turned into a butterfly.
Butterfly shrimp? Sorry.
It says, a butterfly, you say. Well, perhaps there's something like this. Something important there.
And the butterfly fell asleep. I became a shrimp again.
Or perhaps that butterfly turned into a shrimp.
Indeed.
Now, in order to find answers to this, perhaps you should go to where the knowledge is closest to heaven. There are many great mountains in the southern floodplain. And at the top of many of them are great sages. I am not one of those sages. And he gets up and begins walking away.
Thank you for the tea.
Waleed, what are you doing?
Yeah, Willie just sat there and kind of listened, but really wasn't listening, was just kind of like half listening, kind of zoned out. So when Dong Feng says, "Thank you for the tea," he kind of like looks like he woke up a little bit and follows Dong Feng out. And as I said before, like as soon as he crosses the threshold, it's like the silly, ridiculous, over the top Waleed is back.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that Dong Feng and Ning, having seen the other Waleed, can see through the mask a little bit more this time.
Yeah. I think I sling my arm around your shoulder, the arm that is not scarred, and go with you to the hot spring.
The soldiers are all frolicking in the hot spring. You could see that they're enjoying food, and the smell of peppers is in the air. They've clearly never had this experience before. Perhaps Ning is kind of just like sitting on the side, not even inside a hot spring, just like eating alone, being contemplative, but near the soldiers. You see, Shuang is also enjoying one of the hot springs as well. She's actually sitting on the edge of one with her feet dipped into it because she's got her book in front of her. She kind of looks, she says, "Oh, Waleed!"
Oh, hello, Shuang.
She's join me.
Oh, he definitely is very keen on that invitation. Just gets right there, yeah.
And she says, "Waleed, I'm just writing about the Dragon Springs. I have never been here before, but I have heard great things about the healing qualities of this water." She says, "And I also got food. Dong Feng, would you like some as well?"
Well, I now see Waleed with Strong, and I'm like, yeah, I'll catch you later, and I dip to, I guess, to
dip into a hot spring.
Dip. I go and find Ning probably.
Yeah, Ning's kind of all off on her own right now. So
as you're, sorry if I may just interject, as you're walking away, the thing that you hear is, well, you know, these hot springs are heated by real dragons' breath underneath the ground. That's how it works.
Waleed's just trying to impress Shuang.
Yeah, which is like complete bullshit.
Yes, Waleed. Definitely, that is definitely possible. But I think what is more likely.
And then Dong Feng is out.
And then she kind of trails on talking about hot springs. And she says, "You know, Waleed, the food here is so different from the capital. I mean, how does all of your characters, are they able to handle spicy food?"
Oh yeah.
No.
Okay, so she says, "As you can see by Commander Ning is just like red. And like nose is running, maybe crying a bit. When Dong Feng, when you arrive, he says, you know what they say here? They have a local saying in Lie Yue. They say that spice is the most pleasurable pain." As she brings out some food, and she says, "Try this. It's rabbit. I know you've eaten the rabbit before, but this is not rabbit cooked by your soldiers. This dish is only found in this region."
Sorry, is she talking to me or Ning? Or
to you, Waleed.
Me? Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, definitely. And just like, well, actually, for once, his appetite is a little slow to get started. Yeah. Every time you've ever seen
kind of sample it.
He's like, I don't know, I'm not very hungry. Takes one like bite, I guess chopsticks. So just like takes one morsel, and then is like, oh, and then grabs the bowl and just starts going at it.
So she's brought
anime style
2 dishes for you. One is roasted rabbit that has been shredded and mixed with chili oils.
Oh my gosh!
Peppercorns, sesame, and peanuts. So you've got that like crispy skin from it being roasted and tender rabbit meat.
I'm too hungry right now.
Shuang is enjoying a bowl of noodles, a big bowl of noodles with minced meat cooked in chilies, beans chopped up, and a thick, oily sauce.
Is this dun dun noodles?
Yeah, it is.
Hey.
That's something I've been craving. So I was like, I'm going to throw this into the game. And when you eat it, you feel this numbing sensation in your mouth. Unlike the spices of Daesh. Very different from Daesh.
Ooh, interesting. Sure.
Mala. Eh.
Mala. Do you want to explain this, Agatha? I don't know if Steve or
Yeah,
Ammar understand.
Well, it's like the numbing peppers. I don't know if that is what they're supposed to be called, but that's what I always called them.
So,
They
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so they put it in all of their dishes, and it does really just feel like it has an interesting flavor. It's more like it's a spice, but it often just remains in the dish. So then you sometimes eat and you bite into it, and it just your tongue just like goes numb for a second.
In Western China, like in Sichuan, like in Chengdu, they use these little peppercorns. They're like tiny little peppercorns, and they've got this like citrusy spice that gives this mala, which is like this numbing spice.
Oh my god, I'm in.
Yeah,
So good.
it's so good.
Sounds so good. Oh man.
Yeah, shout out.
So it's like very different. This is one of the things that I wanted to bring into our game is that food in Asia is so different,
Yeah.
right? Whereas like in the capital, where which is in basically northern China, which is akin to northern Chang'an in real life is in Xi'an, which is in like northern China. That food over there is very different from the food in like Western China, because of like the geography and what can grow. We got to do like an Uber Eats, and we got to
Yes.
get this food, and then
so
let's
we
do,
can
like, a chat.
show the food as
Show the
we
food?
eat it.
We should definitely do that. But yeah, you enjoy this like fantastic meal with shuang, this spicy food. I mean, it's like you've been eating rations and food that you've hunted and just roasted on a spit for a while. It's perhaps the first time you've eaten food that's been seasoned and cooked for a long time.
Oof.
They even have like perhaps Ning is trying some congealed duck blood with chilies.
Oh, those are so good.
So good.
Yeah.
So tasty. But you enjoy this moment of rest. And Waleed, and we're going to end with this. Waleed, as you enjoy this food, you kind of enter this euphoric state where you're sitting in the hot spring. Shuang has her feet in the hot spring. Maybe Dong Feng's in a hot spring and is turning all like changing colors because you're in hot water.
Yeah, turning pink.
Cooked shrimp.
Yep.
Ning is still perhaps very sad in this montage at the end of the anime episode.
Yo, I wanted to chill with my boss.
Maybe you're chilling with Ning then. Maybe you're both chilling and Ning's just like super bummed out in the hot spring. Who knows? But Waleed, as this ends, as you enter this state, you look up at the sky and the steam all around you coming out of this hot spring. For a brief moment, you think that the mist and the steam is blood. And we're going to end there.
Jeez.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. That's PTSD for you. Jesus Christ.
First of all, way to use the O card, everyone.
Yeah.
And I know like
Oh,
people on the who are listening to the podcast might not, well, definitely won't notice, but we were flashing the heart hands at each other as we were playing this. So stuff was heavy, but we were all on the very same page. We didn't see any X cards, so we're good to go. So at the end of every episode, we do stars and wishes. We talk about what we really liked and what we want in the future. There are some things that I mentioned that you as individuals might want to look into. So Agatha, we could potentially talk about Lie Yue because it's something that you and I talked about
Yeah.
for a while. Do you want to explain what Lie Yue is?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is we didn't come up with a name.
No.
This came from a poem. I think it was Song Dynasty.
Yeah. Song Dynasty.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was written by this poet who's kind of he's the scene where the narrator is looking at the this river from his childhood and looking at the moon reflecting off of it, and he's just kind of reflecting on how he tried to to give himself he tried to contribute to like the welfare of the empire, but then his efforts were not recognized, or like he was just like he tried to get good at the job, and then just like couldn't make it. So then he's kind of like drinking with the moon is the phrasage that we use for Lie Yue. So, and we kind of chose it because Daniel, you said that you wanted this.
So this is the town where the older generation toast their regrets to the moon. And perhaps the episode would end with them holding up a glass to the moon and how they don't like the government. So that's the one historical thing that we brought in there. I mentioned somebody named Old Master Yeze in the spring and autumn period, the Zhou dynasty. It is said that there was a legendary sword master named Yeze who crafted blades for the kings of the state of Yue and the state of Wu. And Yeze is a legendary swordsmith. Perhaps one of the only, him and his apprentice, Ganjiang, are the only legendary swordsmiths in Chinese legend. And he crafted many, many blades. And Chunjun is one of the blades that he made. It was made out of meteors, actually. It's a fictional blade, but it's made out of meteors. And it was said that the god of rain helped cleanse the blade with heavenly waters, and the steel became clear. And the stars represent each of the meteor pieces that were used to forge this sword.
Whoa.
There's also a very famous sword called the Sword of Gojian. It's a real sword. It's in the Hubei Provincial Museum. It's actually one of the relics that is forbidden to ever leave China because of its cultural value. It actually went to Singapore, and a person at the Singaporean museum damaged the sword. And so China was like, fuck no, this ain't leaving. The Sword of Gojian is very famous because when they found it, this thing is over 2,000 years old, and it was still sharp. It actually cut one of the people who unsheathed it. And King Gojian was one of the kings of this Yue state. And his arch nemesis, King Fuchai, was the king of Wu and had a spear, a famous spear versus the famous sword. And it's said that Yeze actually crafted the Sword of Gojian, which is real.
That's so cool.
So dope.
And it's funny, there's only one person who has ever published anything in English about Yeze, and her name is Olivia Milburn. She's a white sinologist who has a book. It cost $200 to get a PDF called "The Glory of Yue," and it was a translation of a book that was published in the Han Dynasty that is a chronology of the state of Yue, which is a minor state during the Warring States period.
So cool. Oh, man.
And I'm actually publishing a supplement about the blades of Yeze. But yeah, so that's the kind of history we put in here. For those of you who are curious, again, go watch Bamboo in the Dark if you want to know about the blood mist or this face-changing person who is hunting Waleed.
Yep, that's on our YouTube channel. So it's just search for Asians Represent Bamboo in the Dark, I guess.
Yep, that's it. And you'll find two episodes. Super cool. Anyways, let's do our stars and whiskers. We're doing the overlay, so we'll go Ammar, Agatha, Steve, and then myself. So Ammar, what is your star for the episode?
Oh, geez, this one's super, super easy. Not like everybody didn't do an amazing job. But I'm going to give my 1 star to Daniel for really, really great food characterization. I think I speak for everybody who's listening or watching right now. We're all hungry now. Thanks.
Yep. Agatha, what is your star?
My star goes to Ammar for the scene in Wo-san's house. I really like that, and especially the part where you describe how when he steps out of the house, well, first of all, the stonewalling was great. I really like that moment because it was very clear that you knew where the direction was going for the conversation. You both played into it so beautifully, where Steve was like really pressing, and then Ammar was really like pushing back, but we knew that it was going to get to the point where Waleed was going to break, so I loved that moment. And also just I liked that characterization of when Waleed stepped out of the house, and it was just like, it was so sad.
Yeah,
I know. It's like a sad clown thing, you know.
Oh,
That sounded really terrible. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, like the tragedy of a clown that makes other people happy, but it's actually deep inside. But thank you.
So that's Agatha's star. How about you, Steve?
My star goes to Agatha for a weird, not in-game thing, but that moment in Wo Shan's house where Waleed was kind of pushing back and Ning was pushing. Steve was like, I should probably stop doing this. This seems like a thing to like not do. But Agatha, you actually initiated the O card during that, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. And then everyone responded with O cards. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep pushing it. I think Ning's going to keep pushing this. Without that prompt, I actually would just given it up. I'd be like, that's fine. You do your own thing. And we would have missed out on a really cool moment. So huge props.
My star goes to Steve for Steve's use of your spy ability, and for May, who I thought was so great.
Oh
May
my
was
gosh,
amazing.
May. I want May to come back.
Well, I think May is just this now alter ego that Ning might use.
Yeah,
Right?
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Can I just say,
like,
I also love Steve's Valley Girl. And if you were listening, you didn't catch the hair twirling that Steve was actually doing. Is amazing.
It is very good.
It's super
And
good.
I feel like the other part of this hot spring episode is Ning getting really drunk and then just pulling out the May all the time.
May does have more fun.
I also have another star. I know I only said one for everyone, but I really think it's important that we give a star to Ammar for how he handled like Waleed's PTSD and how Waleed has all of this trauma and how Waleed is like trying to hide it. And the star extends to the rest of the group who are like, hey, you're one of us. We're like a family and you can be your true self with us. And I thought that was really great.
Aww. Yeah, that was wonderful all around, by the way.
So, now it's time for wishes. What do we want to see happen next time? Also, if Jade was to join us today, Jade was going to be Han.
Oh, snap.
So I got to make a new character for Jade. Jade and I will collaborate because there are going to be tons of opportunities to add new characters. Ammar, what is your wish?
I want to, I was going to say, I wish for actual hot springs because this was a great episode. It was also, I guess I was hoping, or I was thinking that this would be like a, like picnic episode or kind of like a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then it ends with the mist turning to blood.
It got so dark. I didn't even plan for this to be dark. I was like, this is going to be a lighthearted episode. We're going to talk about like Szechuan food and it's going to be awesome. And then like, I was like, literally that whole thing about Waleed. And I'm like, oh yeah, Waleed, you've been here before. Was supposed to be just like a one-off thing. And then Steve like clung to it and then made it the main thing. And I was like, cool, let's just do this.
Oh yeah. No, like your ability to roll with things is just incredible. You rolled with a catastrophe roll. Like that just, I think probably shifted the entire arc of the episode. No, this was great. Do not get me wrong. This was amazing, but I was kind of hoping for just like a
lighthearted episode.
But it doesn't have to be the next one. But I would like our heroes to have one of those at some point too. That'd be nice.
Oasis in the desert.
Hey, that'd be pretty good.
Or at least Waleed thinks he's in an oasis. Ah, you're just in the sand.
Oh god,
Too much spice.
Too much spice.
Hallucinating.
Okay, so Waleed, Ammar, is your wish for more lighthearted?
Balanced out. I love the drama and I love that. But yeah, every once in a while, a lighthearted episode is pretty good.
Okay, cool. Agatha, what about you?
I think my wish is it's not really. I'm just looking forward to when we see the next flower. I am excited about what Waleed basically is gonna get, since Waleed seems very keen on it. So I'm excited to see that in action.
Okay, so you want to see
Maybe my
next...
wish is like for combat or something, so we can see that.
Okay, cool. Steve, what is your wish?
I kind of want to echo Ammar's here, where like I was hungry for like an actual hot spring scene. I'm not sure if I'm 100% done with this town just yet.
Yeah, we don't. Our next episode could be here. We'll start here.
Yeah, I think starting next session here and spending just a tiny bit more time here, I think would make me really, really happy, because there was a ton of stuff that we just like blew through history, even the food. I think we should have spent more time on food, but that's like a personal preference.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm if it's cool with everyone, I'm not 100% done with this town just yet.
Solid. Yeah.
Perhaps. Okay, cool. I've got some ideas. Cool. My wish is for combat. Mostly because like I think it would be a nice change of pace, but also we've kind of shown off how, you know, Quest is really great for this sort of narrative stuff, but I also want to do more combat, kind of like we did at Gen Con, because that was super fun.
Mm-hmm. That was great.
Yeah. So yeah, couple last things. Shout out to Quest. If you folks are interested in trying out Quest, Quest is the game that kind of enables this style of play. You can get yourself a copy of Quest. You can head to adventure.game and you can use code REPRESENT for 10% off your entire order. Shout out to the folks at Quest who, you know, sent us copies of the books, which I still have and I have to give to everyone. But shout out to them. Shout out to Roll20 for supporting this podcast. You know, Roll20 was the way in which we were able to roll dice together, share this map that I drew. If you're interested in seeing the map, I'm actually going to go, and you're watching the live stream, I'm going to be on our Discord, and I'm just going to share my screen. So if folks want to see that, find me in the Hangout chat just after this, and I'll share it. Last thing, if you would like to get a copy of Dungeons & Dragons Annual 2021, you could head to amazon.co.uk and you could order it for like £7. It's ridiculous, and you can see Asians represent immortalized in an officially licensed D&D product. If you also want to tell Asian stories and you're looking for a tool, because I know that there are a lot of people who are now, there are a lot of eyes on us now after D&D Celebration. If you want to tell Asian stories, you could head to unbreakablerpg.com and you can buy yourself a copy of Unbreakable Volume 1. It's Steve and I are both contributing authors and editors of that volume. And, you know, we worked really hard to try to make sure that there was a resource for people trying to use Asian adventures. If you're interested in more world building stuff and you thought the sword stuff was really cool, I'm currently working on a project called Blades of the Lunar Kingdom. I am writing and this is the first time I've actually told any of you this, I am writing a separate campaign setting about the state of Yue. It's a fictionalized version of the spring and autumn period. And ultimately it's going to be a zine that I'm going to kickstart next year called Chronicles of Spring and Autumn. And right now I've published 2 monster manuals that are actually going to be a part of that when I refine them. I'm currently working on, again, like I said, Blades of the Lunar Kingdom, which is a very short zine about magical weapons from Chinese folklore. And Chunjun appears in that zine. It's also a resource on just using swords and different Chinese swords, like the Dao and the Jian, the Da Dao, and different things like that. So you can learn more about that project at patreon.com/Daniel H. Kwan. That being said, Ammar, Agatha, Steve, we're going to do the Asians Represent thing again. It's going to fail, but we're going to try it.
Do it.
I'm going to go, we're going to go, my name is Daniel, and then we're going to do Ammar, Agatha, Steve, and then we're going to sign off. But thank you folks on stream for joining us for this Dungeons into Asians live stream. I'm just so happy that we were able to do this, and thank you people who are watching it on YouTube or listening on the podcast feed. Your support means the world to us. So that being said, my name is Daniel,
I'm Ammar.
I'm Agatha.
I'm Steve.
and you've just listened to Asians
Asians
Represent.
Represent.
Oh god, we're still so bad at that.
I think that was better.
Bye,
It was better than
everyone.
last time.
Bye.